Hi, it's Wade McMaster here. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the web design for Vanessa Lau's website. Now, Vanessa Lau is she's a YouTuber and Instagram, very popular on YouTube and Instagram for her. Basically, she sells courses and information on how you can build a business and quit your job. Also, how to just basically get a better social media following online and on YouTube. And yeah, basically anyone into online businesses could learn a lot from what she has to speak, and she has some really great content, and someone who I follow because just some really excellent content, and I really wanted to do a video because I checked out her website and there's a lot here to learn from, and this is probably, in my opinion, one of the best design sites I think I've actually reviewed. Not that I've reviewed a ton of sites already, but this is definitely one of the best design sites in my opinion. That I've reviewed, and there's a lot to learn from this. So first of all, when we land on the site, I just wanted to point out, even the little things just before we start is obviously the cookie agreement pops up, and the way the rest of the website sort of darkens is actually cool because it forces your eye to look at it. And the way that it says we use cookies, fresh baked and gluten free, it's a nice little touch of fun to it, and it actually kind of sets the tone a little bit before you even start browsing. So that was just something I wanted to touch on. Now, this is on the homepage here, and we're going to scroll down a little bit. So obviously we get a little bit of an intro, picture of Vanessa, another picture talking about who she is, what she offers, her Bossgram blueprint that you can download, obviously an email newsletter sign up, and it sort of goes down and introduces a bit more information about her and what she does. Now, the reason I think this is such a good site is because now, obviously, Vanessa is the personality. She is the brand of what she does. Although she does have branding and a logo built around that, it's very much she's at the forefront of everything. So straight away, you get a picture of her here, another picture here, and you see even just the little bits and pieces throughout the site. It slowly is toned down, but you're constantly seeing her. So you're getting a bit of familiarity with who she is and what she looks like. So as you see videos of hers pop up on YouTube or things on Instagram, the more you're going to recognize her because the more you see her, but it's not done in such an aggressive way where it's just like bang, 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 bang. Like if it was this big on every single panel, it'd be a little bit too much. But the way it's sort of snuck in these little areas is actually really smart. But the other thing is, there's a whole visual brand built around that, which is the use of colors. You can see we've got a bit of yellow here, like this peach color here, and this sort of like pinky color. As you come down, a lot of the colors are fairly similar, but you'll see the same colors flipped around. So this little bit of green here is now the main focus here. It shows that you're in a different section of the page. We've got a bit more white, bit of white again, but we see these same colors sort of alternating throughout the page and just popping up, as well as these little hand-drawn elements like the plus signs and the paint splotches, which you can see a little bit here and there. Throughout in the handwritten text, it has like a very, like, it's not too corporate, like it's very clean and tidy, but they've thrown that those casual elements in there, and the use of those colors, which also are used very heavily on her Instagram profile and with her YouTube thumbnails these days, I've noticed. So it's not just about the pictures of her showcasing who she is, but the fact that they have all these colors consistently laid out throughout the page and site is actually really cool. Now, one thing this website probably doesn't do as well as other websites, but it still is really good at it because of the way these branding elements are laid out, is really creating the sections clearly, separating them from each other, so to speak. That's probably the best way of putting it. But so you land on the homepage, you got this introduction to who she is, offering no BS approach to building an influential business, highlighting the word influential. It's pretty cool. And then it links off. So if you want to learn more about that, you're like, yep, that's what I want. It links off to where you can get some more information. But if you're someone who keeps scrolling, obviously then you can see quite clearly here where the border sort of cuts. It's like, oh, we're going to a different section of information here. And I sort of feel like here is where it can feel a little bit lost, but we're talking in a minor degree. The way that everything's introduced in larger text and sort of leads you into the smaller text is really natural and good. But the use of the color blocks is really good at saying, hey, this is one section, this is another section, and then we're coming down here, and they've sort of switched up the approach a little bit, which I find it's a little bit difficult to digest as opposed to keeping the same approach, but not so much a complaint, just an observation. I do like, obviously here, we've got some credibility with the numbers. We keep going. Every screen is very easy to read and absorb that message. So it's just clearly separated with a headline, some kind of imagery. Once again, a headline, imagery, and then the way this is dark against a white background. If you're here, straight away you go, oh, there's something here to look at. And obviously video lessons, you click here, it brings up video. For a split second there, I actually thought it was podcast, but it won't take a split second to figure out it's video just by reading it and looking at it. So, but yeah, the way everything is broken up visually is really good, and the use of the branding is fantastic. So, and the way this stands out up here, the black against the white with the yellow, free training. The call to action's there, but it doesn't distract from the introduction. Because if you've landed and you've read the introduction, the next thing you're going to see the next time you land is this. So it's kind of like a secondary thing to stand out and grab your attention. So let's just go exactly where she wants to here and just see. All right, so the Boss Graham Blueprint, something you download and sign up for. So this is obviously like a squeeze page for you to sign up for the email newsletter. Once again, the branding, it's a little bit different with the background image, but the colors do match, and it still works in, which is really cool. And of course, we've got the same colors here, so it carries that brand through. But one thing you'll notice, obviously you can see here, it's a preview of what you're getting, and you can even kind of like see, build influence. You can get a bit of an idea of what the content is. So it's a little tease that'll kind of get you to think, this is the sort of thing I'm after, and it's well designed, so you look like you're getting something that's had some effort put into it. It's not just a black and white document. It's something that has actually had money spent on it to be designed. So it does tease that very well, give you a bit of information, and then download now. Now, one thing I want to talk about with this page is you'll notice the navigation's gone completely. If I hover around, there's not really anywhere else to go apart from privacy policy and a few legal things, but people aren't exactly going to be looking at that and going, that's where I'm going next. It's pretty much there for legal reasons. So ignoring that bottom section there, you're not really enticed to go anywhere else but to download, which is pretty much the purpose of the squeeze page. She's trying to get you to download and sign up for the email newsletter, because once someone gets you on an email newsletter, you build up familiarity, that familiar presence much more easily, and then you're more likely to make a sale. So by not giving people as many exits, it sort of has you're not getting prompted with other things or distracted with other things. You're like, okay, yep, I'm going to download this. And then at the end of the day, if you don't, pretty much everyone in the world knows that you can just simply go to your back button and go back to where you came from. So that's why it's good for squeeze pages. Here, you'll notice we've got a lot more options. We've got the navigation at the top. Every section has somewhere you can go. Because this is where we're landing, and so you want the freedom to explore. You want to build up enough awareness and become familiar enough to take that action. But if you're clicking here, a lot of people don't necessarily want to do that when they land and they've never been here before. But some people do. That's when you want to go, okay, look, this is what we're here for. We don't want you going anywhere else necessarily. And that sounds a lot more aggressive than I'm here to. It's just a common design practice. Let's go to the About page. Now, one thing about About pages is they're built to build trust. The idea is a lot of people think it's about telling their story and all this sort of stuff, and it is. But the whole idea of an About page for a usability perspective is actually people are going to go there to investigate. So you're there to build trust. So straight away, once again, photo. This is what it's about. It's like, this is what I'm here to offer you. Corporate escape to a six-figure CEO. So even though that's actually her story, it shows you that that's what she's here to talk about. And you're like, but this is what I want. I'm going to follow through. So obviously we get a nice introduction into who she is. And I sort of feel like it'd be better to have this up and the text to the left, but that's just me. Now, the story is very, obviously you can see here just by the way it's been written, the story is very much like I've had a revelation and I'm here to share it with you. But the tease is like, oh my God, this happened to me and I was able to do all these amazing things. And you go, oh, how'd she do it? It's one of those hooks that sort of pulls you in and you want to try and find the secret ingredient so you can use it for yourself. Now, you can see here, now that stands out very well, the show me how. So what we're waiting for, let's do the damn thing. The way it leads you into that call to action, I think, is very good. It's like it's different than the formula I would use, but I think it's, considering what she's been able to do with her business, I think it works very well. The whole storytelling side of things, plenty of photos. This is pretty cool. I've never seen anything like this before. It's kind of like filling out a sheet. Like filling out a little survey about her. So there you go. That's a nice touch, something that's a little bit different, and it definitely grabs your attention and pulls your focus in. And then, of course, we've got this same thing that's at the bottom of that homepage is, linking off to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So going, okay, you've hit the bottom of the page. There's nowhere else to go, really. No more information. Why don't you check us out on these social media platforms, which is pretty cool. Considering she's all about growing social media, not all about, but a big part of what she talks about is about growing your presence in social media. It's good to have that there. So tools. Now, tools is one of those nice 50-50 things where you're giving someone helpful information, but you're usually trying to make a bit of money in the process. So Vanessa's top picks, TubeBuddy, and this is probably an affiliate link, but the way it works is a lot of people are looking for tools to make life easier, obviously, to do what it is they want to do. So popping things on that tool page with an affiliate link, and not just promoting affiliate link products. You can promote everything you find useful, but why not go and get an affiliate program for the ones that have them and sign up and make some money. So you can see here some of these tools, you sign up for and you get a commission. So that's pretty cool because it's just saying, hey, if you want to do this is what you use to do it. And it's just a handy page. Now this is something I think is really cool. Now, talking about tools, it's not about her. She's got her name up here, but she hasn't put a photo of her on here, which I think is interesting. But the brand still has you knowing where you are. You haven't gone off site. You're on the same site. And the way it's just a simple logo on the left, info on the right. Now, never underestimate the simple things because people understand this. This makes sense. It's just a logo on the left, information on the right. And the logo acts as a bit of a visual. The underline under the button also acts as a visual. It's just very easy to follow. And so you can go through and investigate and see, which one would be best for me. So, good way to lay out tools. I did another review recently on another website about, they had all these opt-in forms on their page for their products, and I said I believe they should have laid it out a bit more naturally. This is how I would lay it out. Obviously this is a different thing, but this is the sort of thing I was thinking. So free. Now free is it's cool because people like to see free, and even if they're a little bit skeptical, they'll be curious enough to check it out. And you can see I've landed here on this free tab. There doesn't appear to be a navigation. So one thing a lot of people probably don't want you to know, and it's not like it's a big secret or anything, but if you ever land on a page and all of a sudden the navigation's gone, you expect to be asked for something, like an email address, like this, for instance, best 25 minutes of your day. So signing up for an email. So this is free. You're hitting this page, and she's offering you, something for free. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. Ready to stop letting your captions die. Instagram caption strategy. Oh, there you go. So actually, I'm not too sure what I'm getting there, and it took me a bit to look. So I'm actually thinking this page could be improved with a better headline, personally. But you never know, it might work pretty well. So let's go back. Blog. Once again, picture of her, and then straight into categories. So this is what I like, and as someone who talks about a lot of different topics, I have been actually doing this a bit more myself, where I've been categorizing things, not on the blog page, but just focusing on categorizing things. And this is a really good example, because if you just go straight to the blog, and you're looking for, you see a video on YouTube, how to grow on YouTube on her YouTube channel. And we've got, okay, social media, Instagram, coaching. How do I get to the YouTube stuff? You can look under social media, it's probably going to be under there. But yeah, you can basically go straight to where you want to go. And that's a good thing for people, and that's top categories too. Obviously not all categories, but it's a good way for you to go, okay, this is the sort of information that I want. Instead of going straight to the latest, which there's probably a whole bunch of things that you don't necessarily want. So latest resources. Once again, the opt-in. So that's pretty cool. It can get a little busy at times, but overall I think it supports the brand. It does a good job. So I'm going to go on to social media. This is cool the way it has the tabs now. Well, we're in one, we're shrinking down so that way you don't have to scroll as much. That is one thing too, is I would want to have this up a bit higher personally, but obviously it's good because at least it's talking about where the page that you're on. So you're getting information about the page you're on straight away. So it does kind of work pretty well. How I made $1 million in social media, more posts. So we've got one big featured post and then other posts underneath. Now, one thing I do like about this page is it has a very fun vibe. All the colors, it's very bright and colorful. There's always lots of smiles and things like that. So it does work out pretty well. Once again, we're back down to the categories. So that's pretty cool. Now, one thing that this website has a way of doing is looking really quite big. And once you've snooped around a little bit, it's actually not as huge a website as you think it is. And I think that's actually a good thing because it gives you that feeling there's a lot to check out, there's a lot to learn. But when you actually go through, you'll find, you sort of feel like there's a lot to offer, like you get lost on the site, but then you realize, okay, there's actually only a few key areas in a blog here. So it does a great job of looking very substantial when it's just a handful of pages in a blog, really, if you're talking about quantity, that is. But overall, some things to learn. Like I said, if you are the personality, this is definitely one way of doing it. Coming up with a visual brand, but popping yourself and integrating yourself into it is actually something worth considering if you are doing that. If you're someone who's operating a website or something where the brand is sort of more represented by the logo and the content and less by the person, then obviously this isn't an example to follow because it's just not that kind of brand. But like I said, if you're an influencer or someone who's looking to promote yourself, getting yourself on your site, getting plenty of photos of you in action, good quality photos too. You don't want to just choose a potato shot from your phone that you've taken sitting at your desk. You want to make sure you get some good high quality photos and sprinkle them out there, but then back that up with a really consistent brand. So colors, fonts, the use of the handwriting is all throughout the site. These same little plus elements keep popping up, the little hand-drawn bits and pieces. If you're talking strictly about visuals, then that's what you want to do. Using this as a reference to that core concept is really useful. The other thing too is even just the use of, so technical, like having a nice big header, because it's just easier. Short, big headers are easy for people to stop, and if you can really describe what this information down here is going to be about up here, or tease with it, you're more likely to draw people in, because people don't want to start here with all the text. People want to start short and simple and then go, oh, well, I want more of this, then they'll follow into this. And the way that the top paragraph is bold, the next paragraph isn't, the way that's broken up is very easy. You know exactly that this is one thing, another thing, and another thing. Nice big space and a button. And again, throughout, everything is broken up. You want things to be broken up. You don't want things, the way things zigzag a little bit can be a little bit, it can be a bit of work for the eye to move around. But I don't think it's a big issue. And every design you have has to have a few ups and downs. Like there's no perfect design. So when I say that, like obviously having everything aligned left would kind of remove the fun and sort of energy nature of the design. So I'm going to go into the blog now just before I finish up and open up an actual blog post. Now I believe these are mostly just for the videos, but I am going to go in and read more. So this is something worth considering too. You see we've got this nice big tall image. Now, in terms of reading blogs, I don't really like that. I'd rather have the information start nice and high. But considering that I know a lot of Vanessa's traffic and her audience is mostly through YouTube and Instagram. I know a lot of people would read the blog, but it's primarily through that. Now, this is a Pinterest, Pinstagram. This is a Pinterest pin. So the idea is that when it's published, you share it on Pinterest, or she shares it on Pinterest. A bunch of people share it on Pinterest, and she gets traffic to a blog that way. What I've been doing is actually just inserting this image and right aligning it on mine, because then the text leads in more naturally. But I don't know, different sort of design style to this side is what I have. So I don't know, it could be worth testing, but I think it's good to have the text start up nice and high, even if you've got to have this under a brief introduction of text. But that's just me. And that's a pure blogging thing. I feel like this text could be just a little bit darker, but I like the fact that it also supports the brand as well. It also highlights the headers more, having that a bit lighter. If everything's black, there's a little bit more competition. So the fact that this is more scannable, you go, okay, this is one section. This is another section. And then you've got the... it's a little bit... sort of takes it back, because even though it's an image, these are nice and square, and they're easy to see that they're just part of it. Whereas this here all of a sudden it looks like several elements until you stop and realize it's an image. So that's actually a little bit off-putting to me personally, but overall, nice big header. It's very easy to scan through this, so generally speaking, it's pretty good. I would consider even putting like a light border or something around that. I don't know, something that makes it look like it's own thing. It looks like too many little things amongst the text, and it's a little bit distracting. It's a little bit difficult for my eye personally, but I try to be as ruthless as I can when it comes to laying out objects, so that way when I do it for myself, even if I don't do as great a job, I've done a good job because I've aimed higher than I needed to go. But look, overall, before I finish up again, like I said before, putting yourself out there if you are the brand, having a visual brand to back that, so when a photo of you isn't there, the brand is creating that familiar feeling as well. And just having everything in sections, again, having those headers stand out, have everything scannable, have everything broken up so that you know you're looking at one thing and another thing and another thing, and then easily broken up within those sections, so you know where your eye can relax and use those landmarks to read. Whereas if you just have a big sea of text, it's a bit more difficult. So I do like the function of it. I think the function of it is excellent. I think that the colors used are I think it's pulled off perfectly for the target audience. And it also shows a bit of personality, a bit of energy with it as well, and it gives you a sense as to what the kind of person she is just by looking at the design. So yeah, anyway, I hope you found that video useful. Once again, if you want to check out the site, just I think it's vanessalau.com. I'll pop a link in the description. But if you're looking for tips, her YouTube channel is amazing. Information's amazing. So I feel a bit funny actually even reviewing this site, because I feel like she's someone I learn from, but it's something I want to do because it's such an awesome site. I thought there's a lot to learn. So yeah, if you want more sites like this, please give the video a like, consider subscribing, and any suggestions, leave a comment below and I'll check that site out as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.